Americans and Brits speak the same language, but not the same way. The British accent is tricky. It's more than just changing the way we use vowels and consonants. The accent's musicality and cadence is a sort of oral reflection of the sensibility of the culture, particularly when it comes to emotion. Brits are spare where Americans are expansive. They prize stoicism. They're not gushy or sentimental, and they certainly don't wear their hearts on their sleeves. Of course, it's not that Brits feel less than the rest of us, they just show less. And the cadence, you could even say the rhythm of the accent, no matter if it's posh or street, facilitates a kind of emotional restraint. When you understand the organic base of it, you master the accent, because it's not just a way of speaking, it's a way of being. Most British plays is not just an accent, it's a way of staying upbeat and not showing feeling. It's so ingrained, I see it over and over in the famous scene, Torcello today. It's, from Betrayal, right, by Pinter. I had a very interesting time. I went to the post office. I found a letter. I was incredibly surprised who would write you a letter. In Harold Pinter's play, Betrayal, Emma is having an affair with her husband Robert's best friend, Jerry. In this scene, Robert has recently discovered evidence of the affair.
It's Torcello tomorrow, isn't it?
What?
We're going to Torcello tomorrow, aren't we?
Yes, that's right.
That'll be lovely.
Robert and Emma, played here by Ben Kingsley and Patricia Hodge in the 1983 film, are both brimming with emotion throughout this confrontation. But notice how the emotion is not betrayed in their voices and their use of language. The inflection, the tone stays positive and upbeat, even in these devastating circumstances. Robert especially fights to keep his tone completely normal, as if talking about things that are quite inconsequential.
Yes, I do. I'm enjoying it.
In Kingsley's masterful performance, this use of inflection and tone supports his relentless determination not to reveal his pain about his wife's affair.
It's not as good as all that.
And we see in this the power of an acting tool I call making efforts that fail.
What are you talking about?
When Robert falters for a moment, it's heart-wrenching to see how hard he must struggle to maintain control.
What do you consider the subject to be?
Betrayal?
This intrinsically British way of revealing or not revealing emotion via the tone and inflection of language is very different from the way Americans in life and in acting deal with an emotional confrontation like the one we see here.
By the way, I went into American Express yesterday.
Oh?
Yes, I went to cash some traveller's checks. You get a much better rate there, you see, than you do in a hotel.
Oh, do you?
Oh, yes. Anyway, there's a letter there for you. They asked me if you were any relation, and I said yes. So they asked me if I wanted to take it. I mean, they gave it to me. But I said no, I would leave it. Did you get it?
Yes,
I suppose you popped in when you were out shopping yesterday evening.
that's right.
Oh, well, I'm glad you got it.
It was from Jerry.
Yes, I recognize the handwriting.
And all the while, he's saying it in such a way as if it's normal. Yeah. There's an as if it's normal feeling that the accent and the tone of the accent, whether you use the accent or not, is covering.
How is he?
Okay,
Good. And Judith?
fine.
What about the kids?
I don't think he mentioned them.
They're probably all right then. If they're ill or something, he'd probably mentioned it.
Almost like we know the other one already knows, so now it's just a big game.
But it's the way you deal with your pain. How do your pain, that he had an affair, like if you had a line, if she had a line, well, you're an asshole from time to time too. She wouldn't go, well, you're an asshole from time to time too. She would go, well, you're an asshole from time to time too, aren't you, darling? So what it translates to sometimes is the words are colored in different ways than we would color them here. In an oppositional way almost.
Are you looking forward to Torcello? How many times have we been to Torcello? Twice. I remember how you loved it the first time I took you there. You fell in love with it. That was about 10 years ago, wasn't it? About 6 months after we were married? Yes. Do you remember? I wonder if you'll like it as much tomorrow.
The emotion is found in the pauses, in between words, not in the coloring of the words, the way we color them here. Oh, it's delightful to see you, darling. I haven't seen you in 5 years now, isn't it? You know, it's that kind of little pause that breaks the normal and makes it abnormal.
Yeah.
Rather than, I haven't seen you for 5 years, I missed you. I haven't seen you for 5 years.
What do you think of Jerry as a letter writer? You're trembling. Are you cold?
No.
He used to write to me at one time long letters about Ford, Maddox, Ford. I used to write to him, too, come to think of it. Long letters about, W.B. Yeats, I suppose. Oh, that was long before I met you, long before he met you. I've been trying to remember when I introduced him to you. I simply can't remember. I take it I did introduce him to you. Yes. But when? Can you remember?
No.
You can't?
No.
How odd. He wasn't best man at our wedding, was he?
You know he was.
Ah, yes. Well, that's probably when I introduced him to you.
There's an up quality that is almost merciless in maintaining. Remember, these people are lawyers. We're having debates. We're not going personal right away. And when the personal then sneaks in, it catches them. It's all interesting thought. It's all major key, not minor.
Damn it, I'm going right in for the fight.
Right. It's not complaining. It's another way of fighting that Americans don't do as much of.
Was there any message for me in his letter? I mean, in the line of business, to do with the world of publishing. Has he discovered any new and original talent? He's quite talented at uncovering talent, old Jerry.
No message.
No message. Not even his love.
We're lovers.
Ah, yes, I thought it might be something like that, something along those lines.
When?
What?
When did you think?
Yesterday, only yesterday, when I saw his handwriting on the letter. Before yesterday, I was quite ignorant.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. Where does it take place? Must be a bit awkward. I mean, we've got 2 kids. He's got 2 kids, not to mention a wife.
We have a flat.
Oh, I see.
Just as in Tennessee Williams, the accent is a metaphor for prolonging time. Prolonged time with the accent. There's almost a metaphor of lingering in the moments that matter.
And when you're working on a lot of the British plays,
It's not just dropping the R's. It's a sort of accent that exists to hide feeling. And nobody does it consciously.
Thank you.